again, I thought she was going to wave, and then she just gives us thumbs up. I don't know what that means.
The thumb isn't even up yet. Still saying wait. It was 101 on Saturday. We set a record high in Parker.
Yeah. And then
it hit 91
I mean,
yesterday.
you see that I'm in literally the warmest pullover that I own.
The high today at my house is 34.
Yeah, my house is at 6,400 feet, so I probably have 12 inches of snow. It's out of control. There you go. Get a shot of it. Yeah, it's just they probably don't believe us.
No,
We're
they
actually
don't.
live, and yes, it's snowing pretty darn good here in Denver, Colorado.
The last 3 days, 101. It was 91 yesterday, or 94, something like that, and 36 is literally the high today.
Yeah, and then we'll be back in the 80s this weekend.
I played golf this week.
I was gonna ask, what'd you do to take advantage of the warm weather?
No.
I tore apart my porch.
I saw that.
Yeah.
How'd it come out?
No, it's out.
Oh, you're gonna wait till the snow melts?
It's gone.
You can work on that in May.
I'm gonna rebuild it. I'm gonna rebuild it this weekend. So we had some squeaky boards when I tore it apart.
Yeah.
Turns out the whole thing was just termites holding hands, holding it together. So
You see them?
I've got a new project.
Really?
Yeah, they're just holding on for dear
It'll
life.
be 80 on Friday. That's fine. Did you see the tournament that Xander Schauffele won this week?
Wait a minute, Xander.
Yes.
I'm looking at PGA Tour right now, and it says Dynamic DJ wins FedEx Cup. What are you talking about,
Must be a
Xander?
misprint because I'm looking at the 4-round scores and he shot 265, which won by 4 over DJ.
We'll let DJ know he's got to give the trophy up.
Unfortunately, he started 7 shots behind DJ.
Yeah.
So that's the rub of the green on the Tour Championship.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome tournament. He played great, by the way, throughout the whole playoffs. I think it was 2 months ago we were talking about how he was shooting 80 once in a while.
Yes.
And how awful that really was. We'll check out how he's turned it around since then. So in the 3 playoff events, his strokes gained tee to green, basically the measure of how good you're hitting it.
Yep.
Finished third, and first this week.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
That's very good.
Strokes gained just strictly off the tee, 7th, 2nd, and 2nd.
Yep.
That's pretty good too. And then he really just had a good putting month for DJ. He's usually right around the 75 kind of range for strokes gained putting this year. Last 3 events, 12th, 9th, compared to 48th really for all of 2020.
Yep.
And then, so he just hit it awesome, putted a little better than usual. The part I thought was the most interesting out of all this to show you how much more dominant he was with the hitting piece was that there's a stat on the PGA Tour, go for the green. That's anytime you're going for a par 5 and 2, or trying to drive a par 4 that someone else has tried to drive. That's your go for the green.
Okay.
He attempted that shot 26 times in the 3 events and was 26 under. For all 3 events, he played them at 45 under. So more than half of the shots that he gained on the entire field were purely off of the go for the green stat. So hitting it far, hitting it straight. I mean, the guy was just so dominant in these 3 events. And then he got a huge lead off of the FedEx Cup standings, so he was positioned so far ahead of everybody else, so no one was catching him.
Yeah, and so I saw that. So the best part is everything you just said was true. I was fact checking you here with some of the sites that I found, and you nailed it. You were on. So nice work.
Hey, thanks. You know,
I
do try pretty hard.
I caught it. I always
10
try to
minutes
have
ahead
an
of time.
obscure stat that actually relates to golf. So I caught another stat. DJ had 4 consecutive 54-hole leads in the last 4 events.
Ooh,
you're
that's
gonna
a good stat
you're gonna
right
do
there.
okay if you are leading after 54 holes every
Yeah.
single week.
So check out this. This is an example of how well he played. This is the tee shot on 18, last hole of the day. He had whatever he needed here to probably make like a 7 on this par 5. The hole itself was 590. He hit this driver 337, and I love looking at the radar data and what they're doing in the events has gotten so good this year. Club head speed a little higher than the tour average, not by a whole lot though. Ball speed was super high. Smash factor 1.52. I would start by just saying he hit that one really well. He didn't hit that one at a 1.52. And the spin rate about 2,600, and the apex of that was a little over 33 yards into the air. So, I mean, that was just a hammered driver. So check out how this guy's playing golf right now.
Yep.
And when he's trying to hit these little left or right shots, and they curve just a little bit for him pretty much every time. And it looked like this miss over the last 3 weeks, if he did have one, was to overcut.
Yep.
Which is the opposite of what he had before, which was the pull draw, and then these big slices in addition there. So while that rolled maybe 40 or 50 yards to get down that hill, just left him a much shorter shot in. He had 229 into this 590-yard hole. Goes for the green, and we were just talking about that stat.
Yep.
So here he hits an iron from 229, maybe hit it 200 yards, probably mishit it ever so slightly, but he's still up near the green. Where a lot of amateurs might have tried to lay up to their favorite yardage, you're far better just, if you can, get it up near the green, which in this case is 30 yards from the green. Has a long bunker shot, but nothing really hard. Watching him hit this one and knowing that all he's got to do is basically get it on the green, it'll run all the way to the hole. Looked a little tentative there. That came out a little bit low, rolled a long way, and he's got this 5-6 footer, and he buries that one. End of the ball game right there. Even though he lost by 4, he still won by 3.
Well, and it was all set up by, you said he hit that little cut off the tee box, and we learned from DJ a bunch of weeks ago on this show that in order to fade it, you just have to remember to fade it.
Yeah, don't forget.
Don't forget to fade it if you're trying to fade it. So looks like he deployed that all the way through the tournament here. It is actually kind of hard to believe that we are talking about Dustin Johnson, and it's his first FedEx Cup win, right? I mean, that's kind of monumental, right, to check that box on his career resume.
$15 million too.
I saw that. I saw his interview too, where he said, what did he say? That he remembers what it was like when he was only making $25,000 a year and struggling, and I'm pretty sure he's going to remember what it was like to make $15 million in one weekend, basically in one weekend.
He only struggled making $25,000 a long time ago. Long time ago.
So I got a question for you. Does Justin become Player of the Year? The guy went 0 for July basically when he shot his 80s and missed a cut and then withdrew. So even though with that he obviously had the success this weekend, does he win Player of the Year?
Sounds pretty tough. I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about that, but he was so dominant in these playoffs that it does wash away a lot of the garbage rounds that he had during the year. Between he and John Rahm, maybe Justin Thomas. I mean, those are your
Justin Thomas, Morikawa. You got the other. I mean, there's only been one major, but he's the only major winner so far this year, right?
And he played well too. Wasn't that was bad? I'd probably knee-jerk reaction say Dustin wins it. Just maybe it's recency bias, but that was pretty awesome.
I would think so too. The way that he dominated was great. I got another stat: most wins since 2008.
Oh wow!
Most wins in 2008. So Tiger at 21. We always have to mention Tiger on this show, favorite player. Tiger at 21, DJ at 23, and we forget that Rory used to play well. He was at 18.
He still does play well. I saw a quote from him this week that he was almost like knocking swing mechanics and working on your swing.
Yeah.
But maybe that's for another day.
All right.
It was kind of odd to see that because he is always tinkering with the swing.
Yeah.
So maybe he dialed that back, started playing a little better, and then that comment came.
Maybe we'll couple that into next week when we talk about when we break down the GOLFTEC complaint.
Yes, I wish we had time for that complaint letter. We're going to do that next week.
We'll get there.
Sorry I teased that one a little soon. We ran out of time today.
So we.
You got a new segment.
We're ready for a new segment? Yeah,
we should do a new one. We haven't done a new one since last time.
So new segment, everybody. Got a new segment for you. Nick's got the video. This is Don't Try This at Home. So first off, we have a Club Pro, I believe, absolutely ripping irons through his van window. And for the record, for this video, this is Don't Try It at Home because you really shouldn't ever play golf left-handed. Ripping it through your minivan windows, do what you got to do. But this is impressive. He hits like 3 or 4 in this video.
Yeah, they're big doors. So, hit a fake ball through the van. I can see that one. That one's
then really don't try this at home. Ian Poulter decided to get in on the action. And when I first saw this video, I'm like, yeah, right. He's pulling up his, would you look it up? $4 million Ferrari?
$4.5 million Ferrari. I know nothing about this, but now I'm super curious.
So he pulls his Ferrari up. You can see the golf ball in the club sitting there in the foreground, and I'm like, okay, great. He's gonna chip it over his Ferrari, right? No, he goes.
That is not what he did.
Through the window, through both windows.
Super slow-mo.
If you're going to do that with your Ferrari, roll the windows down first. So.
Good advice.
If you can't remember all these rules, don't try this at home.
Producer Sabrina, did you write that down?
Yeah. Don't chip balls through your Ferrari window without rolling the windows down.
Yeah.
Good?
This one I saw earlier. Did you see this one? I don't know what vehicle.
I didn't see it. You brought it up. This is Poulter again.
Same thing. Horrible music, by the way.
That's why we have it on
definitely
mute.
not from the Taylor Swift album that just released. But yeah, it pitches it right through the AMG. Nice little car too. Sounds very safe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with this as a fake ball. Might be a fake club. Might be a fake car.
Could be all. This whole show might have been fake.
I haven't watched a PGA Tour shot all year, so probably.
Well, it's a great way to practice. I guess it's either practicing for performance with pressure, Or you're just practicing when you blow it way past the stands and you have to chip it over some cars, right?
Or
Who
you're
knows?
practicing just to get more Twitter followers.
Right.
I'm going with that.
It's all fun.
DJ is awesome.
DJ was awesome.
What's our next major that's coming up?
We got the U.S. Open in 2 weeks.
I've heard of that.
2 weeks.
And then what's
Yeah.
after that?
And then, about 9 months later, it feels like we eventually get to the Masters that we've been talking about here, middle of November for the Masters. And then we've got a whole bunch of golf tournaments between now and then, right? So in the interest of flipping 2020 on its head, we've got the Tour Championship followed by the rest of the season.
Yeah, Masters will be super cool. U.S. Open will be cool. So we'll still recap those just like we do these, and I promise that we'll try harder.
We should keep recapping some of these little vagabond tournaments too. I mean, that'll be fun. There'll be some
Maybe.
good no names that come out of them. We'll get there.
All right, maybe. I want to do that complaint letter, though.
No,
It's
that's
killing me
next.
that I'm not
That's for
allowed to
sure
do
next.
that. Oh, well, next week.
Unless Tiger wins.
Okay, you got anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
The
We're done.
weather's awesome. Can't wait. I want to hear more about these termites. Take pictures.
Yeah.
Fix
yeah.
your deck.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Cheers.